What's going on? um, so I've had a couple of thoughts in my head, and one just before I hit record. So we're gonna have a little bit to talk about this time around. Um, so one thing that has kind of been on my mind for a little while is like, what is wrong? What is wrong with our world today, and what is going on and what is the catalyst for it. And a lot of my thoughts on it come from a retired veteran that I met a couple years ago. And I remember how we got on topic of it when you work at a bank and then all of a sudden someone just starts, hey, let's talk about something. You only got a little bit of time. And he told me something pretty profound, and it had just kind of stuck with me for a while. And it was there's too many freedoms in America. And I found it to be extra profound because it's coming from someone who literally spent the majority of his life protecting the freedoms that we have. And I thought about it for a long time, long time. And I kind of went, I think he's right. And I had thought for the longest time that we are too soft on the things that we shouldn't be, and we are too hard on the things we shouldn't be. And what I mean by that is, and I know I've said this before, but the fact that we are in an age where respect is so low and it's being put in such a capacity that I start really thinking about different things in different ways. And I'll explain what I mean. When you have a situation, let's say you're driving on the highway. Um, the highway is pretty much a lawless area. Um, had a guy that was I noticed him weaving through two lanes, just trying to get through everybody. Just get out of my fucking way, get out of my way, get out of my way. And eventually got to the point to where the highway split up to where off ramps were coming. Well, even on those off ramps, or on ramps to off ramps, whole lane opened up, and that was clogged. This dude went around all of that onto the shoulder to basically get ahead of where I was. And there was a guy in front of me, and he cut through all of them. And I know I've said before that 2.5 foot tall concrete walls on and off ramps, right there at those points where all those mergers are. Put them right there. And it's gotten to the point to where I want to say I don't think it's necessarily too many freedoms. What I think it is there's too many comforts. And you have people that do shit like that to where they'll cut through and, pass people on the shoulder and drive how you're not supposed to. But if no one catches them, they'll keep doing it. And it's not like they were. I don't live near a hospital. So it's not like they were trying to get someone to the hospital as quickly as possible, at least not on the highway that I was on. And it's just a matter of them saying, I'm more important than you. And that's where I said we need to get back to really kind of kicking people in the teeth and going, no, you're not. You are not more important. And a lot of that gets reaffirmed if you ever watch any of these like cop shows and body cam shows. They show up on my YouTube thing all the time, and I watched a few of them today. And there was one where this lady took a screenshot of what was supposed to be her boarding pass to get onto a plane. And this lady altered that boarding pass because she didn't want to sit behind the wing. You know, there's all these talk of it's rougher back behind the wing. I will say I personally don't know. The farthest back in a plane I've ever been is the wing. I've never been behind it. And she altered it so that she wouldn't be sitting where she didn't want to. She would be sitting where she is. And the other person that showed up that goes, there's a lady in my seat. She says it's her seat and she's not moving. And this lady was so self-absorbed, such a selfish ass, rather than leave the plane so that everybody else could go about their day. She defiantly stayed on that plane, knowing she was wrong, trying to convince others that she wasn't, and forced the airline and the cops to deboard the entire plane except her. Now, just thinking about that infuriates the hell out of me. And the audacity that the needs of me outweigh the needs of many. When you know you're wrong, you're just trying to be cool to bullshit your way through it. Throw the book at him. 2 years in hard prison. Make her be out there with a pickaxe and some rocks and shit. I don't care. But that is just something that should never be tolerated. Taser in the throat right then and there. Like it just pissed me off so bad. You know you're lying. You know you're wrong. And the entire plane had to suffer because of you. No, that is some everybody grab your seatbelts and beat the shit out of her. Go ahead, everyone turn off your cameras. We'll turn off our body cameras. Beat the ever-living piss out of this woman. And then we'll drag her half lifeless ass out. And then we'll just go, don't know what happened. Bob rules. May want to get her checked out. Here's a single Band-Aid for your nose. Because maybe it's because I've never been in a position to where I was just going, well, that's how it is. And that's how it's going to be. Because both of those scenarios are filled with such selfish entitlement that I personally feel if you are caught doing those, maximum penalties. And there needs to be like minimum penalties. Like for the dude weaving through traffic, lost a license for 10 years. Some type of sensitivity course or something like that. Something to where like all this, I deserve this. I'm entitled to this. Just gets flushed the fuck out. And has it to where they're gonna at least think twice before doing it again. Maybe I would have even rather preferred you get behind someone, just honk their fucking horn to have them move. But I'm in the far right lane. The other lane opened up, and you go around 2 lanes to cut back in front just to get ahead. Now, I will tell you, the next time the highway opened up for all 4 lanes again, this dude was nowhere to be seen, and he was in a tall red pickup truck. Like the kind where you go, someone's overcompensating for something, that kind. It was a fairly new truck too. I had to say at least it was like a 2019. And he just barreled right through. Everybody be damned. I'm the most important bitch here. And I'm going, there's usually cops all over here. Fucking hell. Like for the longest time you had cameras on street lights that if you ran the light, they would flash to get your license plate, and then they'd mail you $100 ticket. Man, why isn't that shit on the highways? There's a spot here in St. Louis on 270 northbound. For the longest time, you go 270 northbound, the far two left lanes will go up towards 70. The other 3 lanes will continue on 270. The 2 right lanes, first one goes east to 70 east. The other one goes west over 270 to 70 west. For the longest time, there were people that would get in the 3rd lane, go all the way to the end, and try to maneuver in, thus causing the entire highway to shut down. So then they put 2 white lines on the left side for the last, I think, half mile going up to 270. It says, crossing double white line prohibited. Why is there no cameras to take pictures of these fuckers? Because they're still doing it. Because I want to say for about 3-4 months, cops were there, and they always had at least 3 or 4 people pulled over just handing them tickets. I don't know how much the tickets were. I'm hoping they were $1 million a piece. But what am I supposed to do? Well, should have thought about that before you were an asshole. Or these people that, and I know you've seen them, are missing their exit. And rather than doing what everybody's done before the dawn of time, you go to the next exit, turn around, come back, and try again. Nope. These people will cut all the way across at 20 miles an hour going, this is my exit. And I've even seen some go through grass to get over there going, lost the license for the rest of your life. Take the bus. You are obviously not capable of the driving privilege that you need to just go take the bus, have a bike. I don't give a damn, but you're not allowed anything with a motor other than a lawnmower. And it's that's where the gentleman that said that there's too many freedoms, and I have that sort of clip between where I say there's too much comfort. I remember when I was a kid, there was a little phrase called talk shit, get hit. Where did this go? Right? Like where did it go to where if you talk shit, you need to be ready to be hit? That's just how that goes. It's so baffling to me that people have this mentality that they can just kind of do whatever, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They don't care. And when you start having this introduction of people just not giving a shit, I'm like, come on, man. At some point, you kind of have to sit back and just realize that it's okay to be wrong. I don't know where we ended up with this entire thing to where you're not allowed to be wrong. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It shouldn't ever be that way. Like, it's okay to be wrong, but no one likes to be wrong. And at what point did we lose sight on it's okay to be wrong, or it's okay to have your thoughts challenged? Just had a conversation recently with a couple people to where I had talked about things that were going on, and they were just going, I don't think that's right. Where some of you know some of the nasty things that have been said to me in my life, and I have not forgiven the people that have said it because they've never said that they were sorry for it. And I go, you should forgive them. No. They should apologize. Well, why should they apologize? To acknowledge that they were wrong. Like, why should they apologize? I had a conversation last year with one girl to where she was just going, I don't apologize. Because sorry don't mean shit. Sorry is just a word. I will act accordingly. I said, but that's still saying sorry. And why is it so hard for you to apologize for saying something that was hurtful on purpose? Now, if you said something that wasn't on purpose and someone got hurt, I understand. But if you said something that was deliberately trying to hurt somebody, why would you not apologize for saying it? So, for example, we used to have a couple roommates, and she didn't like that I cussed. And I said, I'll tell you now, it's not going to be perfect. Cussing is something that I've always done, and it's something that I will always do. I will never apologize for it, because that's not part of who or how I am. Now, if you're running around yelling racial slurs all the time or just being a racist piece of shit, well, then yeah. You should probably go ahead and apologize for being a racist piece of shit and then stop doing it. But if you were unwilling to acknowledge that you were wrong by throwing an apology in and then throw in another case of, I will try my hardest not to do this again. For example, another cop video I saw today, person identified as non-binary, and the cop kept calling this person ma'am, and she kept getting mad. Now she was getting mad, upset, crying, like tearful cries. And he was just going, look, it's not on purpose. What you're asking me to do is not unreasonable, but it is not of the norm for me. I will do my best, but I cannot make any promises. And then this person turned it into an entire ordeal and tried to have that be the reason why she had 3 drinks, was blowing, I think it was a 0.18. And I'm going, that's where I'm talking about that. If you're one of those that my preferred pronouns are, I'm like, there's so many worse things in the world. I'm sorry, get over yourself. It's not a hate crime. If it means so much to you, probably don't go where people are. No one owes you what you request. They just don't. Now, what I have seen people do is, rather than the pronouns, they'll just ask what their name is, and they'll just throw the name instead. Basically just kind of like being The Rock. You know, The Rock is tired of this. The Rock will walk your walk. The Rock will take a breathalyzer. And just refer to them as that name. But this whole thing of they, them, she, her, he, him, like, there's so many other worse things in the world than to have you blow a gasket over someone using the wrong pronouns. Like, come on. That's like saying someone's wearing purple and you can't stand the color because it reminds you of a dead fish that you had, that your parents lied to and flushed down the toilet, and they told you the cat ate it, but you're just saying we don't got no cat, and you have all these excuses of why it just shut up. It's not that serious. You make it that serious because you have nothing else in your life that actually has anything that you can command any type of attention or control over people. And I'm going to take this one down and put this one up. Like, I'm sorry, but grow up and get over it. The world does not owe it. You can ask for it, but the world doesn't owe it to you. It's like going to a DJ. We could request a song, but they don't owe it to you. You can give them a $5 tip. That doesn't mean you're buying that song. No different than if you go to a jukebox. Some of you might not know what a jukebox is. Look it up. But you go to a jukebox and you put in a couple bucks. 15 people may have put in 20 What's New Pussycats in a row, and you're going to have to suffer through it before you get to hear Patience by Guns N' Roses. Hi, I'm Irony. But that machine does not owe you that song while you are there. It doesn't. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. And there's some features that I've seen to where it'll have like a play now to where you pay like triple the price to have it play your shit immediately. If it means that much to you, fucking pay more for that shit. But the fact is that you cannot command people to do what you want just because that's what you want. Life doesn't work that way. The world doesn't work that way. And these other idiots that talk about time blindness. No, it's called immaturity. You have so many other things that occupy your time. You don't pay attention to it. That's not time blindness. That's just piss poor time management skills. And guess who suffers for it? You do. Your boss doesn't owe you a call 1 hour before you're supposed to be at work to come into work on time. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Caleb Hammer. Dude, that's got like a financial-ish advice podcasty type show where he brings people on, takes a look at all their finances, tells them these are all the frivolous things you're spending your money on. How about you knock that shit off? Stop spending $700 a week on eating out and getting DoorDash and shit. Like, but that's what I want. Comfort. A few weeks ago, was over at Kick's house, and he needed to leave for a trip, but I'm hanging out with his sons, and you know, we get along all right. It's not like I'm going, all right, well, I gotta go. He was talking about getting dinner. I was like, all right. We just kind of decided it was going to be Burger King. Cool, I like Burger King. Starts to DoorDash it. I'm going, what the fuck are you doing? I'm going to DoorDash it. Why? Did you ever look at the breakdown of the cost of that? It's not that much. Not that much. Not that much. One order for one person is essentially what you pay in fees to have it get delivered to you. So that's like buying 4 meals, getting 3, and you're going, this is okay. I'm like, it's 4 minutes down the street. Get in the fucking car. I mean, I'm not too hypocritical on that, because if you're at work and you're just craving some Chinese food and it's not a Monday, I get it. You know, they give you a shitty half hour for lunch. You want to spend that entire half hour eating, not 10 minutes one way just to get there, 10 minutes to wait to get your shit, and 10 minutes back. Well, now your break's over. So either you're going to have an extended lunch that you lose even more money on, or that you actually lose money on, instead of just, here's your allocated 30 minutes. And then you inconvenience your coworkers because you're now out for 45 minutes. And it's just, it's so stupid. And if you got the money for it, by all means, go right ahead. And there's some times where I know a lot of people that are stuck in their house. I have a friend that's gone through a bad accident. She has trouble walking, so she gets a lot of stuff just sent to her. That shit I understand. But if you're perfectly capable of doing it, stop being a lazy turd and just go. I don't get it. I mean, it's convenient, which goes right into that same category as comfort. But at what cost though? Because again, you could spend $75 getting 5 meals worth for that money, but you only get 4 meals. You're going, we got everything that we ordered. But what about the fifth meal? You got 4 double whoppers with cheese and bacon. You could have had 5. You choose not to. You choose to just give them that money. And like at that point, just walk into one of the restaurants, throw a $20 bill in there and go, I'll make up for it later. And you just walk right back out again. I mean, that's what you're doing. And I know that comes from a lot of my generation, to where air conditioning started to be a thing for the previous generation. And if the AC was on, it was a completely written rule. It wasn't unwritten. It was a written rule. You get out of the house as quickly as you can and slap that door shut as quickly as you can. You don't slam it shut, but you slap that bitch as quickly as you can and get out of the house. So that way you're not letting all the hot air in and the cold air out. And then you stay outside for at least an hour or two. You better hear that AC click off before you come back in at the minimum. Too hot? Too bad. Lock that motherfucker behind you. See you in 2 hours. It's 4. See you at 6 when dinner's ready. I mean, that's how it was, though. Is that you had to be conscious of all these things. I remember trying to tell kids when I was going through college, I said, you know why you constantly talk about not having money? Because all you run is your card. They go, what do you mean? I said, well, with cash, you get to watch it disappear. Now you only have $20 left. It's like with a card, you can see it while you go into the app. Do you check the app after every time you make a purchase? Yeah. No, you fucking don't. You're just saying that to try and win the argument because you don't want to admit that I'm right. Watching the cash leave your hands and be able to see that physical pile of money decrease out of your hands is a far better way to play around and go to different places and do different food, because you got to go, all right, well, I got half a tank of gas and this shit is about $30 to go here, and I got $40. I'll get paid till next week. Is $10 of gas really gonna make it last from today Monday to next week Friday? Probably not. So maybe I shouldn't. That's much more heads on to go, I'll overdraft. You can't overdraft physical cash. Speaking of overdraft physical cash and banks and everything, I did my taxes today. And I was like, okay, I go here to get my W-2. And I go online and it says enter your username and password. I'm going, I remember the username, and I don't remember what password it was. It's like it's almost been exactly 7 months since I was there. 1, I don't remember the password, and 2, I know for a fact it's not active. So I go to hit reset password and it says username, email. I'm going, all right, here's my username, here's my email. They're like, if this username and email address is correct, you should be receiving your confirmation email shortly. I waited 20 minutes. Ain't getting nothing. I tried it again. Another 20 minutes. Nothing. Like, all right, well, Let's wait till 9 o'clock and then give them a call and see if they can help me out. I was on hold for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And I get it's the day before taxes are done. I get it. So there's going to be a lot of shit going on. But the thing that pissed me off the most about their solution was pretty much, I was told, your username and your email are the same thing. Well, why in the hell didn't you put that in the goddamn email that you gave me that says, here's where you go to get your W-2. By the way, your username and password should both be the email address that this email was sent to. That will help you if you need to ever reset your password. So I waste all that time on hold. I take up an extra slot for someone who probably could have had more effective help, and I didn't sit there and slide in for 3 minutes, mind you. It took 3 minutes to solve my issue. And that was because I went, hold on, and let me make sure this works. And it finally got to the point to where it actually did kick in to where they're like, all right, the website's ready. This is all ready. This is just where you got to go. It's like, all right, thanks so much for your time. Have a great day. Be safe. And I hung up. 3 minutes. For the whole 30-minute window that I was on hold, it was 33 minutes. You could have just easily put that information in the email, saved me 30 minutes on hold and her 3 minutes dealing with someone that just really didn't need to have to talk to somebody. Or put it in your hold messages. If I'd have heard it in my hold messages, I'd have hung up and then someone else could have taken my spot and they move up the line. Like, where did we go wrong? Like, there's so many things that just absolutely fucked up in this place. And it plagues my brain on a daily basis. How did we get so wrong? Like, how has it been so wrong? Not to mention, my tax returns, I used to get between $1,100 and $1,500 per tax return. The last 3 years, I've never seen anything over $600. Where the hell did half my tax return go? What the hell happened? Someone explain to me what the hell's going on, because I don't fucking know. I don't have a clue. And the other thing is that the company I've always gone with, efile.com, I was like, all right, 7 o'clock in the morning, let's get this going. And it says, unfortunately, we will not be able to process April 20 or 2024 tax returns by April 15th, 2024 due to updates and renovations. And I'm thinking, who the hell put shit in here that y'all were going to do renovations and updates before tax season? Why didn't you wait till like the 21st, 22nd, give you a full 7 days afterwards? You know, go next Tuesday. What? So I tried them, couldn't do it. I went to another company, and while I was on hold, because I thought maybe I was going to get it done in time, they logged me out of their website, and I could not get back in. They kept saying that they kept sending a code to my phone. Nope, never got a code. So I had to start all over again, and then start all over again. So I visited 4 different fucking websites to get that shit done. And I know there's been commercials lately between TurboTax and H&R Block and shit like that. I'm not going through TurboTax. Y'all can fuck yourselves. I know what underhanded shit you bastards do, and I'm not no. Eat an entire bag of diseased dicks. I'm not doing it. But, you know, the H&R Block was like, it's free. Nope. It wasn't free for me. It cost me $109. So I had them take it out of my return. So my return was less than $500 again. I don't get it, man. And I have to go on another rant here for a moment. Hold on. Need some liquids. Throat was getting parched. I think every single, and I mean every single CEO is a gigantic piece of shit. Every last one of you. There's not a single CEO in this country that I don't think is a giant piece of shit. Especially not a single billionaire. There's not a single billionaire that I think is worth the fucking air that they get to breathe. Nope. They should pay premiums for that shit. Because companies are supposed to make money. 100% understand that. I get it. 100%. But what I don't understand is, at what point do you not realize the reason why your sales keep dropping is because your prices keep raising and the bottom floor of what people are making doesn't come up with it? You're trying to take quantity and turn it into quantity and quality, and you fucking fail at it. You try to squeeze every last thing out of everybody that you can, and that's why your profits are shit. Because it doesn't work that way. If the average company only sits there and increases as a really good raise 5% increase, and a company is always trying to get a 5% increase in profit, you're still not able to offset the bottom end, because most people, especially those of us in the lower class or the lower middle class, what we tend to do is only buy shit we can afford because we don't have the money for it. Because a lot of your CEOs, I'd say 90% of them, offer something that is a pure fucking luxury. So when you have all these luxury things, you're going to have a much smaller window of people buying things. So if you look at your friends and your friends don't buy anything of import, you're going to look at them and go, good for you for saving your money. Well, if they're not going to buy things and you're not going to buy things, why? And your money can be used to throw it to the people that would buy things. Then where do you expect the money to come from? You know what I mean? At some point, something has to click to go, oh shit, I have a $750 million position per year. Okay, what do you have in your life that's gonna cost you to do like $500 million a year? What do you have that's a recurring cost for $500 million? And I understand that for the filthy fucking rich, they want to have the gap always widening between the poor and the rich. They want to have that gap just keep widening until you can't see it, but I'm still stretching my arm out till it's out of sight and out of reach. The moment this line moves to here, they freak the fuck out, because that was their territory that just got encroached on. And how dare the poor encroach on that? Now, I'm not saying that if you're a CEO, you shouldn't be able to get the biggest slice of pie when it comes to the money that goes through your company. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if so much money runs through your company and the people at the bottom are struggling, but you absolutely need them, how are you helping your business if your own people can't afford to go buy them, because that means other CEOs aren't paying their people enough to go buy things? There has been such a divide between what is needed and what is a luxury that even what I'm doing right now, I hate to break it to most of you, but this is a luxury. This right here is a luxury. Being able to view this video is a luxury. The internet's not a requirement. My generation, we went years without ever having it. It's not a requirement. It's not a necessity. We've turned it into one, but it still isn't one. Your life will continue on, and the world will continue, even if all of the internet were to disappear tomorrow. The whole goddamn thing goes down. Your life will still go on. 100%. It'll still go on. Food, water, shelter, warmth. You can even throw in some version of entertainment. That's it. You really don't need anything else. But because we've gotten comfortable with having all these things, just like I've said in a previous video, you have these people that go like, I have to have my Starbucks in the morning or I'm going to stab a bitch in the throat with a coffee cup. No, you don't. That's just an excuse you fall back on to treat someone like shit because you haven't gotten your fix yet. Well, grow up. Your Starbucks, I'm sorry, is not a requirement. It isn't. It isn't. Nothing about your morning routine is a requirement. Breakfast isn't even a requirement. I think it is for kids because they get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and they got 6 hours before they eat. You know damn good and well that kid just existing. You have 37 hamsters with rocket boots on freaking hamster wheels that are just keeping their entire body going, and they are burning their metabolism. They get hungry. So they eat around noon. School lets out close to 4 o'clock. Some kids don't get picked up till 5, which means they're not going to be eating until 6 at best. Maybe closer to 7 o'clock. They're going to need a snack in there somewhere. Kids just have that thing of and just fucking beavering all the shit out of those things. It's just how that goes. But you have to give them that opportunity to get that which they need. Not that they want, is that they need it. And I know I've said it in hundreds of videos before, but there's a strict difference between needs and wants. And even the differentiation between the two is lost on most people. I need to talk to you. No, you don't. You want to talk to me because it's very important to you, but you don't need to. Some of you out there know the full reason why those are trigger words for me. But yeah, I am insanely tuned into needs and wants and those specific words and how people misuse them every time. Just whenever you hear when like someone like when they're like talking and they're like saying things and then like they can like say other things and then like you start hearing the word like a lot and then like you want to start like counting and then like you're at 13 and then like you're at 14. One of my top rated comments on TikTok is 28. She said the word like 28 times in this 1 minute video. 28. And I got people going, "You the real MVP. Thank you for that. I'm so glad. I was wondering if someone would count it, blah, blah, blah." I got all kinds of thumbs up for that shit. It's not necessary to talk like that. It isn't. And even just as I said the words talk like that, saying like triggers in my head alone, and I'm going, fuck, could I have used a different word there? Now, sometimes you can't. But you make conscious choices. I literally can't even. You literally can. You literally won't even. And just like I told you in another one of my videos where I was talking about words that irritate the hell out of me, it was, I can't complain. Yeah, you can. You know the words. Because then it's the next sentence after that always bothers me. Well, even if I did, it wouldn't do no good no way. So just say I won't complain. I don't want to complain. You know, comforts and being able to just be a giant piece of shit because you want to maintain your comfort doesn't mean you get to treat other people like shit to maintain yours. I'm not having that. Nope. I got no problems calling people out on their bullshit now. Like that lady on the plane. Oh, I'd have been screaming. Get your motherfucking ass off the goddamn plane. You are not more important than everybody on this fucking plane, bitch. Get out. Shut the fuck up. Tase her in the face and rip her ass out. I'll do whatever I got to make this happen, but I'm not getting off this damn plane because she won't, because she's the asshole. And if you are going to take someone like that off a plane, walk them by everyone. Tell them they can all slap her in the face once. Yep. Public humiliation needs to come back. That's going to stop a lot of that shit. I fucking promise you that. All right. I hope my shit's going to work. I don't think it's going to. I had just recently figured out how to get my headphones to where I don't need the cable in all the time. But hold on, this might do it. Oh, hold on, I think that just did it. Hold on, bear with me just 1 sec. Okay. All right, that's it. I fixed it. so I was just playing some music, and it reminded me of my old high school English teacher. She used to say that what she would do with her son and daughters, or sons and daughter, I don't remember which combo she had, but I think she had more than one of one. But her kids, if they wanted to go buy a new record, they could do that. But what they would have to do is they would have to bring it home. The entire family would sit in the living room, and you would put the album in the stereo, and everybody would listen to it. And if everybody approved of it, you got to keep it. And I remember sitting back and laughing my ass off, and I'm laughing my ass off even harder now. Because I'm sitting there going, I'm so glad I had a little bit more freedom in my music tastes, and I've been able to have a pretty expansive music taste. And it really, I started sitting there going, it's not the first song. It's the 9th song on here. But one, I don't think just the name of the group would have been able to cut it, and it would have passed at least just the name inspection. Because it's a group called Infant Annihilator, and and I just thought, you know what, I, I'm I'm pretty sure she is no longer on this planet anymore because she was pretty up there when I was a teenager. So I'm pretty sure she's not here anymore. But it just had me wondering, what would her facial expression be if she heard this shit? Oh my god. I had that thought in the middle of listening to that song, and I could not stop laughing. Oh, oh man, I was so funny just to even have that thought. Just cracked me the fuck up. So I just I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was pretty funny. It was like, yeah, here's Infant Annihilator. Or let's see. Something else that probably would have been even better is that you get Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated, and this is what you hear. I, Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated, and then you have the song Hammer Smash Face. Like, oh man, that just tickled me to think about that. And she'd have been around for that record. Uh, let's see, Tomb of the Mutilated came out in '92. Yeah, she absolutely was alive in '92. Because I didn't even know she existed until the following year. So, yeah, she'd have been absolutely been able to be aware of Hammer Smash Face. Something inside me. Yeah. All right. That's all I got for you this week. Do you guys have anything like that where you have, if they want to do this, the whole family kind of has to approve kind of thing? I don't think anybody does that anymore, but if I ever had kids of my own, man, I would do that just to fuck with them. I'm going, oh, we're all gonna sit around and we're gonna listen to it. That's what you want to own. All right, we're gonna go get it. We're gonna come back. We're gonna listen to it, and if it's unanimous, you get to keep it. I'm like, that's how I'm gonna get my kids away from trash music, like most of the stuff that comes out from new artists these days. But anyway, y'all have a great one, and yeah, talk to you soon.